Good evening, and today is March 2nd, 2015. And thank you for joining in our broadcast today. And let's look at what we've got going today. Today is February 28th, 2015. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu is making a historic visit to the United States, arriving today making a speech at the AIPAC meeting with the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, where he highlighted his concerns and his appreciation of the United States-Israel bilateral relationship. Now, tomorrow, March 3rd, 2015, Benjamin Netanyahu is expected to make a speech in front of the United States Congress, and many of the Congress members, especially on the Democratic side, have voiced their opinions to boycott this historic speech because of how John Boehner and Benjamin Netanyahu, when they decided to make this speech arrangement, did not consult with the State Department or the Obama administration, who are currently trying to make a deal with Iran on their nuclear program. And Benjamin Netanyahu will always see Iran as a threat, and they want new sanctions placed on Iran, which is what something he'll call for tomorrow at his speech. But this will obviously cause United States those sensitive times with Iran to those could cause those to go in to be in jeopardy, and so the State Department isn't too happy. But Netanyahu emphasized today that the United States-Israel bilateral relationship is still strong. It'll be interesting to see how this story plays out in the next couple of days. Now we move on to the story we were talking about, where Russian opposition leader Boris Nemtsov was assassinated, and yesterday he was expected to lead demonstration outside Moscow, but obviously he's been assassinated, and so this event was turned into a almost memorial service for him. And so it's interesting to see how his investigation will turn, especially since all those hundreds of security cameras near the Kremlin were somehow not working that night he was assassinated, which is obviously cause for concern. Now, enough about the news. Now let's move on to the weather. Now, late tomorrow night, we are expecting some rain, and tomorrow will be the temperature will rise up really high. Tomorrow the high temperature will be about 67 degrees in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and so later that night we'll have a cold front coming through, and with that cold front we will have some severe, not severe, we do not expect severe thunderstorms with this as of right now, but right now as we look at this, we'll have some heavy thunderstorms moving in the area Tuesday night. Oh, excuse me, around 9 p.m., 9 p.m., and it'll go into the night. And what's interesting is that on the down, one freezing line will start to move more and more towards the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Around in the morning when you wake up to go to school, the freezing line will still be north of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but when we head into Wednesday afternoon, that freezing line will eventually move south of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which could cause some sleet and freezing rainfall in our area. However, with that, since, as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be 67 degrees on Tuesday, the ground's all going to be really warm, and with that sun exchange, a lot of this ice will have problems sticking on the ground because it's going to take so much time. Remember, if you go back to 8th grade, you have that specific heat, so that heat is going to keep the ground pretty warm, and so because especially with that concrete, it's going to hold in that heat a lot longer, so a lot of the ice probably will not stick out of the roads, which will cause preventable travel problems. So it won't be a very big issue going into Wednesday, and then we'll keep going until Wednesday and Thursday. Now on Thursday we could see some more slight sleet and snow mix on Thursday morning, but those are supposed to be very light, and we do not expect many traffic issues. Now let's graphic released by the National Weather Service as we expected. Wednesday afternoon and Thursday morning will be when the wintry precipitation is expected. We expect some rain to fall up until Wednesday afternoon, and then around Wednesday afternoon, it will transition to some sleet and ice. Now, in the blue shaded area where we're expecting a brief period of wintry precipitation to fall. However, we aren't expecting a lot to fall here. Exact amounts aren't known quite yet because we are still 24 hours, 48 hours away from this event. So that's just something to just keep in mind. We won't be seeing a lot. This will not be like December of 2013 where we had a huge ice storm which dropped about 3 inches of ice on this area. Now we'll have further to the south where where they'll have time to freeze and fully let the ice fall down here because the freezing line, the precipitation will be more fully developed down here. They'll see some higher impacts, maybe some more sleet or snow, but their exact how much is going to fall down here is still unknown. But right now, if you're asking me, it's probably not going to be more than a quarter of an inch, and around here might only be a tenth of an inch. So we will not be seeing a lot of impacts out of that. So if you're asking me about whether we will be having school on Wednesday or Thursday, my answer is a definite yes. Unless something crazy happens like it did on last Wednesday. But for right now, it looks like we're gonna have school on to Wednesday and Thursday. And just because I usually don't do this, but here's a 7-day forecast from WFAA. Monday is obviously past, but today, don't you might want to expect some light rain to be falling tomorrow morning. But other than that, the main shower and thunderstorms will be arriving around 9 p.m. In the late evening hours of Tuesday night. However, on going into Wednesday afternoon, we'll see that rain beginning to transition to snow and sleet as the temperature falls below freezing. And on Thursday, again, we could see some light, light snow and sleet that morning, and the temperatures will gradually begin to rise. So we will be getting our spring break rather chilly for it to be spring. Now, to my favorite section, which is What the Frass, inspired by Annette, because she introduced me to that word, and I just love that word. And What the Frass is just some odd news I found. And if you look at this, first one I looked at, it looked like snow or sleet. Then I looked up where the heck this was, and this is actually Huntington Beach, California, near LA. I'm like, okay, well, there's this white sand. Well, no, it wasn't. Well, today, around 2 o'clock local time, they had a huge, what I would call a hailstorm, where this rain all this hail. It's about half an inch of hail on the ground here. It's very, very light, but it's still very interesting to see this picture out of LA. I mean, you would think this is snow or maybe sand, even if you know where this was. But I just thought this was pretty interesting to look at. And that concludes our newscast for today. Very, very short, brief. Please study for your test. Here's a little WAPA review. Ritu and me and Zio are working hard on it. And so, yeah. Look at Ritu. Look at this. An author of Family Rituals. That's funny. And then it's a good. We'll see how this review turn out. Malars, Nancy, Lydia, Nat, Ritu, me, Supriya. So that's it for today. Thank you all for watching, and study hard for your map test. Study hard for everything. Do well in school. Don't drop out. Be a good person. Be nice, and have a fabulous Wednesday. Or no, oh wow. Already going still. No, excuse me. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Have a great Tuesday, everyone. Bye-bye.